Alright boys, today, we've got a bit of a mystery to solve. Let's uncover which piece went missing and why it's such a big deal. And hey, maybe there's a life lesson in here about patience, communication, and appreciating the little things. Let's get to it.
Boys, what piece of my 150-piece socket set did my girlfriend lose to make me overreact? Got an argument to win. Calling on the boys here to win me this argument. I normally would have just not worried if it wasn't this specific piece of a set I have managed to keep whole for 5 years. I told her I'm gonna post this question and that the boys will know exactly what piece was lost to annoy me so much. Hint: I live in a metric country and was about to do some work on the car. Update: big thanks to everybody who replied. She has replaced my 10mm socket. Both of us had a good laugh at some of the replies and how fast they came in. Yeah, the boys.
Alright, now that you're up to speed, let's jump into the comments section. Drop your guesses below and let's see who hits the nail on the head. Let's get to it.
As soon as I was about to do some work on the car, I knew it was the 10mm, and I don't know shit about tools or cars. Hell, as soon as I saw socket, I knew it was going to be referring to the 10mm. As soon as I saw alright boys, I knew it was the 10mm socket. As soon as I knew it was the 10mm socket. Was just working on my car today using the 10mm. Accidentally dropped in between the metal body and my fender in the engine bay. Gone forever. 10mm. Boom. Headshot. 30 seconds and we got her. In the US, they sell entire sets of 10mm sockets on Amazon as a car guy joke gift that is actually useful. I've given some out as a joke, but I bought myself one too. Is not a joke gift, it's a very practical set. I see 4-piece, 6-piece, and 10-piece deep and shallow sets. Many say 100 plus bought in the last month, one with 1K plus bought in the past month. They're the toolbox's item most likely to mysteriously vanish, even more likely than socks in the laundry. Second most likely for me is Posey or Phillips drivers. I could probably get set up with an automatic subscription for both delivered every other month. My brother-in-law is a middle school shop teacher. He has one in a box on the wall, with, in emergency, break glass TO open on it. I think my father and I are at the destination end of the 10mm socket wormhole. He and I each have multiples, without ever buying more. After a big project together, we often find one or two that we didn't have before, with neither of us missing any. The 10mm was already good as gone when you bought the kit. I think they do a voodoo chant over them at the factory. The 10mm socket is just a myth. It was invented by crooked dealers trying to slowly milk their victims dry, like a tick. It's always the 10mm. Even in a non-metric country, Liberia, Myanmar, and the USA. All the 3 non-metric countries. Exactly. It's times like this I wish I was gay. Then I wouldn't have had to fight about it. He would have taken his ass to the hardware and replaced that shit before I noticed, just out of pure shame and fear. Fellas, is it gay to ensure the safety of my 10mm socket? Come on bro, if you're going to use Reddit to settle an argument, at least make it a difficult or obscure question. We all know what went missing, and what you have lost yourself and replaced 3,000 times already but are pretending it never bloody happened. It was the 10mm, and she probably never lost it. It's probably just overdue for its annual migration, or whatever the hell happens to them. I was smart. I bought a whole rail of 10mm so I had heaps of spares. Then I lost the whole effing thing in one go. Lose 2010 MMS all at once, and just get a lifetime's worth out of the way. Now you'll never lose one again, statistically speaking. That's the same logic why taking a bomb on an aeroplane makes it nearly statistically impossible to get blown up on an aeroplane. I know I'm definitely not going to set mine off. But statistically, what are the odds of 2 strangers, unbeknownst to each other, simultaneously taking 2 bombs onto the same airplane on the same day?
It's always the one piece you need the most that goes missing, isn't it? Even though it's just one piece out of 150, it feels like a huge deal because it disrupts your routine. Let's keep reading.
Happened to a guy in my shop. He ordered a 10PC 10mm set from some catalog back in the day. About 6 months later, after losing his daily driver out of his set, found the other 10 had all wandered off, presumably in a group, probably just in solidarity with the first one. My 10mm is Loctite's to a 6 extension and to a dedicated wrench. No more lost 10mm. I guess if you lose that, you'll weld it to a 20-pound steel brick. 10mm, and we already knew. The only question is whether it was the 1 or 4 drive or 3 or 8 drive 10mm. I'm going to flip this around and say it's your fault for not having 5 or more 10mm sockets on hand. Rookie mistake. I did the same thing with cigarette lighters when I was in a share house as a younger man. You buy a bulk load and eventually, so many are lost that you find them everywhere. 10mm sockets might still walk out though. I want to fix my wife's car a few weeks back and one of my 10mm was missing. I did the usual curse, grabbed a spare, and got under the car. On the last bolt I tightened the last time I worked on it was my missing socket. It's always the 10mm. 10mm. But you can't blame her. This happens to every socket set ever created. Your GF experienced 2 phenomena here. The disappearing 10mm. And what's guaranteed to happen anytime you borrow a tool. It either breaks or something else where you feel obligated to purchase a new one for them. 10mm. The proverbial middle finger. This was never her fault. A 10mm is simply a wild child that lives by its own rules and can never be tamed. She deserves a pass. Okay, so I got so tired of losing my 10mm I bought a bag of the things. Then I dipped them in a yellow UV glow, so they would be so incredibly easy to find if misplaced. Mind you, this is for home use and I have 3 sons. I am down to my last 2, and one of those stays in a locked drawer. Father's Day better be another bag of the things, which wasn't cheap. I am thinking that maybe my wedding gift when they get married. To get them started. Then after showing it, turn around and throw it out a damned window. Put it away for ya. 150p socket set price breakdown. 149 sockets. 99 cents 10mm socket. Priceless. How is it even an argument? If you lose or damage someone's tools, you say, "I'm so fucking sorry," and replace it with higher quality piece ASAP. And if they decide to rake you over the coals about it, you quietly take it all and politely apologize again when they're done, because you don't mess with people's tools. Don't even have to replace it herself. Just tell me, and I'll grab one at the hardware store on the way home. But infuriating when I go to fix the car and it's missing. She's already said sorry and is going to get one in the morning now because how fast and 100% correct every answer has been already. LOL. You're talking man code here. This tool was lost by a woman. Although it would be nice if she automatically replaced it, by the strictest interpretation of said law, she is not bound by man code and therefore cannot be held liable for lost or damaged tools. As I see it, the only decisions that remain in this case are as follows. She is worth the trouble, and no further mention shall be made or grudge held in the matter of the lost socket. She is worth the trouble as long as it doesn't happen again, in which case further training and instruction shall be provided regarding expectations going forward. She is not worth the trouble, and or it is evident that there is likely to be a repeat offense, in which case the offending party shall be summarily dismissed. Oh Lottie, this thread is beautiful. Where I am from 16mm is also commonly missing from the set because it is being used as a bowl in a gravity bong bucket. This is too funny. I just found a socket at a campsite and the first thing my husband asked was, 10mm? It wasn't, but what a coincidence I'm seeing this an hour after. I don't know a damn thing, but Reddit has taught me it's 100% the 10mm. Did she actually lose it? I think 10mm sockets have legs and can make themselves disappear. I am even more convinced after reading all the comments.
Overreacting might seem irrational, but it's really about the frustration of not having what you need when you need it. Maybe it's a good excuse to involve her in finding it, turning a frustrating situation into a teamwork opportunity. Let's see what others may say.
You had me at 150p socket set. The answer to any questions is 10mm. Seriously, anytime one of y'all loses a 10mm, it ends up in my toolbox. Must be some kind of quantum tunneling effect or something. I literally have an excess of 10mm sockets. To be fair, we know it was the 10mm, because it's always the first to go. It's not exactly your girlfriend's fault if you didn't think to warn her about the vortex that hunts them to pull them into the void. Boys, what piece of my 150p socket set did my girlfriend lose? The answer was clearly going to be 10mm. No further words were necessary. I hope you have proven your point to your GF. We all know that the 10mm is a magical mystical creature that just vanishes into thin air when needed. It's a 10mm socket or wrench. Assuming you live in Europe or Australia, fucking everything is 10mm except the damn spark plugs. Edit. Looking at the other posts, I don't even know why I bothered. LOL. This is why my GF and I have separate toolboxes. We're both gearheads, both Scorpios. I was raised by Germans, and she is a redhead. That is a nuke waiting to go off. Not a man here and I have a Husky 290 PC mechanic set. Guess who lost one of my sockets when he first used it and said he would replace it? Then I used it again and lost another one. Not one has been replaced, and it's going on 5 years. I will never let another man touch my set unless he knows how to use it correctly.
And so, with the backing of his fellow socket set enthusiasts, he prepared to tackle the impending argument, hoping that this collective wisdom would lead him to victory. The quest to find the missing piece and win the argument was on. Subscribe for more.